So begins a new age of knowledge.
Hello, my name is Bambichu, and in this video I'm going to show you some of the more commonly used Invoker combos from early to mid to late game. I'm mainly going to go over the very basic ones and in which situations you want to use certain combos, etc. So we're going to start by just making a custom game where we create a lobby. We have the cheats on, we have no bots, and we're just going to start the game.
All pick.
We're gonna pick our Invoker. We're gonna start with going level 16, because by then we have like most of the necessary items and most of the necessary like skills. So first of all, I'm gonna disable creep spawns, because we don't really need any creeps right now. And then I'm gonna give myself some gold or some items. And I'm gonna just set up the... I'm just gonna set up the late game items. It doesn't really matter so much. No, that's not it. There we go. We're gonna go for Yules as well. And we're gonna get... Refresher. And then we're gonna get Boots of Travel. So this is gonna be our items for now. We're gonna set the what the fuck just to get down here to this position here. So as I said, we're gonna put ourselves to level 16. That's like a decent level. I'm gonna show you the combos that you can use early game as well, even at level 16. But I wanna specifically keep it at level 16 for now because that's like the most like common levels. Accidentally fucked up and only took 1 point in quest, so I'm gonna go one more, or 2 points in quest. I'm gonna go one more, just to have the 3 points. So I have set up 3 different heroes, that, like 3 different scenarios. It's gonna be intelligence, agility, and strength. And the first one is gonna be Lina. The agility is gonna be Slark. And the strength one is gonna be Sven. And then I'm gonna put on all vision. Now where did the Sven go? He's over there hiding. So I'm gonna put the bots at the same like level as me. And I'm gonna give them like what sort of items they usually have around that time. So let's see. I'm just setting up here. Okay, so that's gonna do it for now, except for Lina's. Alright. So, the reason why I'm going talent tree-less right now is because most of the cases you kind of want to have like the early levels in Quas and Dex just so your spells are a little bit more potent, instead of just having the raw like health or the Force Spirits. So you sometimes just prefer to have the spells itself just to make yourself more useful in that sense. So the first hero, Lina. The more common combo to use, firstly, is Force Spirits plus Cold Snap. So you just have a Force Spirit out, you have it selected with you, and then attack, and you use Cold Snap, right? So they can't really like run from that. So that is the very basic one. Then you can try to up it a bit by using Dex, and you get yourself Alacrity while you're using the Force Spirit plus Cold Snap. So let's do this on Sven right now, because he's a little bit more tanky. I don't want Lina to die, because then she's gonna end up over here, and it's just a hassle. We're gonna take off the what the fuck for now. And we're just gonna use this combo on Sven. So as you can see now we're dealing a lot more damage. We're faster, we attack faster. We have like maxed out Vex as well, so we're very fast. We hit very hard. As you can see, Sven with all these items went down pretty quickly. Just gonna skill them up and get their talents. Alright. So that is just the most common first two basic combos. Against a hero like Sven, Cold Snap is really useful, but there is a time where he's gonna get his stun off. Like during the first levels in the early stage of Cold Snap, he is gonna be able to just get his stun off, no matter like what you do. So even if he's like Cold Snapped right now, he can still get his stun off, as you can see between the shots. Even if I would have swapped the Vex, by the third or fourth one he would have gotten it off. But a very useful tool against Sven that not a lot of people use is Ice Wall. Ice Wall, even at level 3, makes Sven very much slower. Look how slow he is. Right? Sven can stun you, but then getting to you is a real big problem. And by the time he gets to you, you have your... you're already out of the stun, basically. And that's even when he was like halfway through the Ice Wall. So, if you play against a Sven, and you can do the sort of like this combo, the Force Spirit Cold Snap, you can also get off the Ice Wall. Like, he cannot really get to you right now. He can get you, he can stun you, and he can like maybe try to kill you, but it's just gonna be too slow. So Ice Wall against heroes like Sven and Slark, like melee heroes, is really strong. Like really strong. Ice Wall is one of the best spells, and not a lot of people use it in the lower brackets, and a lot of people should use it. Learn how to use Ice Wall, and you're gonna be a lot stronger than like what you think you can do. So Ice Wall is a spell that slows for 80% with 3 quasses. The quas, or the slow is based on the quas, the duration is based on the quas, and you also take a little bit of damage from the exort every like second. But so how Ice Wall works is it's gonna be a linear spell horizontally based on the direction you're facing. So if I want to hit Sven right now, I have to be faced his way, and then it also has a very short distance in terms of like straight in front of you. So I have to like either walk up to him, or I can do where I can turn just over here, just facing this way, because the line is going to be like this, right? So it's going to be able to slow him. So if I turn,
I'm not ready.
if I just refresh, if I turn like this, it actually hits him even though if I'm like further away. So if I usually have to be over here, I can now be over here. Like this is the max range I can go. So you can see here, this still hits him. So that is a really big thing, like if you're chasing someone, if someone is like trying to run away like this, you can just follow, and if you can't reach them fast enough, you can turn an Ice Wall. You can turn an Ice Wall, and if you're new to this, you're gonna fuck up so many times. Like you're gonna, like I even do this. Like when you're trying to Ice Wall someone, you're running, and you accidentally turn too sharp, you miss, right? But if you learn like how to sort of do it like cool, calm, collected, you're gonna be able to hit eventually. Doesn't matter like if you fuck up a lot of games, because it's like learning. Just this is like a very basic spell that not a lot of people use. This plus Alacrity is like one of the strongest spell combos you can use, because even now like Sven is very slow, right? Doesn't usually have BKB at this stage of the game, so this is where Ice Wall is really strong. And Alacrity is also very strong because it keeps you away. So then when it comes to combos, like those flashy combos, one of the most like common ones is the Tornado EMP, so the Vex tree basically. So Quas Vex for Tornado and Vex only for EMP. So in the early stages of Quas, what you want to do is you want to put down your Tornado, and then you want to put down your EMP, and then you want the Tornado, because the EMP takes longer to charge than what the Tornado does keeping them up in the air, because the uptime of Tornado is based off your Quas, right? So if you were to Tornado first before Quas, they're gonna be able to get down and they're gonna be able to run away. Like even if it's like he was right next to it there, but if he was like further bit away, he would have been able to get away. So what you want to do is you want to just like line it up, and then you use EMP Tornado. So now he has a lot less time to try to run away from this one. So that is the very first like basic like flashy spell combo. And then there are other combos which you can use, which involves the Yule Scepter, which is Sunstrike, Meteor, followed by Deafening Blast. So the idea behind this is you Yule someone, and during this Yule's time, you will use Sunstrike, Meteor, Deafening Blast. So just as they hit, they're gonna get hit by everything all that. So I accidentally misclicked, so I'm gonna move this out of the way and just set it up again. So once again, Yule Scepter, use your spells, and as soon as they land, they get hit by everything. So that takes a lot of damage. It's like 1,000, almost like 1,000 damage right there at level 17 with these spells. The items doesn't really matter too much. Like I can just remove these items, and let's say that you're at this situation. So Yule Scepter, Sunstrike, Meteor, then you Deafening Blast, so you can see. Now that I actually did the combo correctly, she died. So that was more than 1,200 damage. Some heroes though, you can't really do that combo on as effectively because they have stuff to get away with, like a Slark, Shadowblade, or maybe even like if Lina has a Yule Scepter, they can just Yules themselves. So I'm not gonna cast any spells except for Meatball here. So I'm just gonna up in the air, and then you're gonna see here that Slark can just Yules him instantly to avoid most of that damage. Even if I would have hit him with a Sunstrike, he would have had very minimal amount of damage. And then after that, he can just leap away like this, or just go in this, or just use his ultimate. Right? So certain heroes, that combo is not so good. That's why I don't like using that combo so much anymore. It used to be something that I did like all the time, always. This used to be my main combo, my main kill potential. So let's see, let's put on what the fuck again, and let's get Lena over here because she died. Turn off. By the way, if you wanna learn how to do this in demo mode or in custom games, if you want to know, this is called cheats, and what you can do is you can just Google Dota 2 cheats, and it should get you to something that's called dota2.gamepedia.com, and there you can see that is a 100% legit site that's Valve sponsored or whatever. So you just use that site, you can look up all the cheats. There's a nice little Wikipedia list of all the cheats there, and etc, etc. So when it comes to a little bit more difficult combos, again, this is just a very basic combo that I'm gonna show. I'm not gonna level anymore now, even though I have like another level because I killed her. The most like common useful combo against like a hero like Lina, even though if she has a Yules, is to just use Tornado, EMP, followed by Ice Wall right underneath her. So what you do is you set up your Ice Wall, you have it primed and ready, then you use your Tornado, EMP, and then you run up and you use your Ice Wall. So now she cannot outrun this EMP. The only way she can get out of this is if she stuns you right before the EMP hits her, she Shadow Blades and runs away, which is like, she's still gonna get hit by everything, but she's gonna get away if I don't have detection, or she's just gonna Yules herself. Like Yules, she can dodge all of this with Yules. But that's just like, you have to click and see their items to check like what sort of situation you can put yourself in. So Lina can just Yules herself, avoid most of that damage, even though she's still gonna be slowed, right? But here's the thing. If you have the mana for it, if she were to Yules at that point, you can just swap it up a little bit by doing this combo. So it's gonna be Tornado, EMP, Ice Wall, followed by Meteor. Because as soon as she lands with that Yules, the Meteor is gonna land on her, and then you can also Cold Snap. This is where Aghanim Scepter comes in. Aghanim Scepter makes your Invoke to 2-second cooldown, where if I wouldn't have it, it would be 4.5 seconds with Octavine Core. Otherwise it would be 6 seconds. So you see there's a large difference between 6 seconds between spells and 2 seconds between spells. And that's why Aghanim Scepter is usually Invoker's like major first item, plus it gives a lot of stats, which is nice. You see it gives 400 health, 200 mana. It gives attack speed, armor, everything. So once again, I'm going to show this combo. I'm not going to Yules with her right now because it's really like difficult to control. I might actually use, but we'll see. So this is the combo, right? So that is if she has Yules, and then you can just like cold snap instantly afterwards. So if she Yules, as soon as she lands from the tornado, if you know she has Yules, you can just set up the meteor cold snap instantly afterwards. So it's gonna do, this is gonna be the effect as she lands. So I'm gonna keep her alive, but yeah, she's gonna be stunned, she's gonna take a lot of damage, and yeah, Yules is not gonna save her at that point. And then, let's see here. Those things also still like works against Slark. Same thing with him. Even if he goes in this, even if he uses ultimate, you can just use the same combo for that. So this is like a combo if you're required to do some timings with your meteor, basically. So once again, meteor. So even if he pops ult here, you see he dies, he takes damage from the meteor. Even if he would have popped ultimate before the cold snap, or even if he would have popped it like right as the meteor lands, he still takes a lot of damage. And if you have the mana for it, if you don't want to cold snap, you can just Deafening Blast like right there. But that is a little bit more difficult to do, so I'm just gonna stick with the normal ones for now. And then one thing I really want to get into as well is the usage of Ghost Walk. Now Ghost Walk at level 1 is really like bad, or level, yeah, like when you can get it for the first time it's really bad, because it's the only thing it does is just make you in this. That's the only like save. So if they have dust, you're dead like no matter what, because you're so slow. They're gonna dust you, they're gonna kill you basically. But the thing with Ghost Walk is that once you get the higher levels, it starts going from a negative move speed of 30, as you can see at the bottom here where it says self speed. That's based on your dex levels. From negative 30 to plus 40. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't know is that stuns like these, you can actually avoid with Ghost Walk, because Ghost Walk breaks most projectiles. So if you look here, we queue up the Sven stun. You see it actually like breaks it because you go in this, right? So the projectile misses you. Now this doesn't work with all projectiles, like Sniper Ultimate, because Sniper Ultimate still sees in this. So it's not gonna really do anything. So it's basically like a lesser useful Yules in that case, except you get more like movement speed. And also Ghost Walk like slows enemies, right? But they can also see that they're being targeted with Ghost Walk. So another thing you can do with Ghost Walk is, let's say you get chased, right? And you run a corner. Now, a lot of people just like run a corner and then start teleporting and hope they don't get seen. But what you can do is you can actually run around the corner, start teleporting, and then you can use Ghost Walk while teleporting, because Ghost Walk does not cancel channel. Right? A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that you can actually do this combo. So if you're being chased, you can just run around the corner, start teleporting, and then you can use Ghost Walk. They can see the teleport effect behind, underneath you, but they cannot see you. So if Sven wants to target you with a stun, he cannot do that. However, Lina can just anticipate that you are gonna teleport and just put a stun right here. So if you were to teleport and Ghost Walk here, and then it's really difficult to control. But yeah, let's say you're teleporting right now. Lina can just put a stun here, and the AoE stun is of course gonna cancel even if you're in this. But yeah, that's like a really big thing that not a lot of people know about in the lower brackets. So let's get Slark over here. I really don't want these guys to die because it's so annoying to get them here all the time, but it's too much damage, man. Okay, so I'm gonna spawn an ally. An ally with a pretty large ultimate. Who is, let's see, so I'm just gonna level all of these to max. If I can type. And then I'm gonna level myself to max as well, because I'm just gonna showcase now the difference in when to use Tornado and when not to use Tornado. Because a lot of people likes to just use Tornado just for the hell of it, right? Because it's like a really interesting spell, it's like really fun, it puts them in the air. But in some cases, using Tornado is actually wrong. So let's say we have an Enigma, right? Let's say he gets a black hole on 3 people, like this. And if you use Tornado now, that is a lot of damage that these people don't actually take. And you see they're up the entire duration of that black hole almost. They're up in the air, they're not taking any damage or anything. So if you were to use a tornado during a black hole, you're just gonna mitigate the entire black hole basically. So you're gonna fuck your entire team up by doing this. Same thing if Magnus. Hold on, his name is Magnetor, right? Yeah. Same thing with Magnus. If you were to use RP and you use Tornado, the entire RP duration is just spent in the air. So when they land, they just take the damage from the RP and the Tornado. So a lot of people accidentally like misuse it. They want to do like some sick Tornado combos, but you don't need to use Tornado there. Tornado is so unnecessary because it basically removes these three heroes from the map until they land, right? So what you can do in such a case is just to do the combo, which is EMP, Chaos Meteor, followed by Deafening Blast, without using the Tornado. Because this is going to act as your Tornado, right here. This is going to act as your lockdown. So you can just use this, and you deal all the damage. They take the full duration of the damage, plus everything else. Same with RP. Now, if Magnus happens to be skewering during that time, that's like nothing you can do about, unfortunately, but that's just how some of the games go. But as I'm saying, EMP, Chaos Meteor, Deafening Blast. So EMP, Chaos Meteor, Deafening Blast. That is a lot of damage already there. That's like, how much damage was that? So that was roughly 2,500 damage, right? 2,400 damage-ish. So that is a lot of damage, like at max levels of everything, like without even like thinking about the bonus damage you get from these items. So yeah, that's quite a lot actually. Before I'm gonna move on to the more tricky combos, I'm gonna talk about like a common thing where you have to deal with the enemy carry just jumping you. So I'm gonna wait for Slark to get here, and I'm also gonna create another annoying hero for Invoker, which is Phantom Ass. Let's see. Apparently she was dead. It took a very long time for her to load. And she loaded over here for some reason. So Phantom Assassin is a hero that's really annoying to Invoker, because with just a couple of items like Face Boots, Vladimir's, Desolator, for example, she can just jump you like this, right? And you're slowed and she's hitting you, and she has a chance of critting you. Even with no items, she's critting me, this Invoker, for 500, right? And usually when a PA jumps you, if she's lucky with the crit, so if she gets a bash, you're like gonna be fucked. You're like, there's not like a lot of things you can do other than either run away, Yules, or just like Tornado her. It's usually what people think. But the thing is, if she doesn't have a BKB, what you can do is, if she jumps you, you can just have the Chaos Meteor Deafening Blast combo set up. So let's say that you see her coming towards you, or you think that she's gonna come towards you, and you're in a lane, you can just set up this combo and anticipate her coming to you. So she jumps, just like easy Invoker. Then you instantly hits her with this combo, and she's taking a lot of damage, and she cannot attack you because it disarms, right? So already there you can deal a lot of damage to a very annoying hero like a PA. And then once again, against a hero like PA, Ice Wall is just a great thing. Even if she can like jump like this, she's still gonna be slowed after she gets out of Ice Wall for 2 seconds. And that is really annoying, because already then you can do lots of other stuff, like you can use the Tornado, you can get the Cold Snap, plus the Alacrity, so you can just hope that you hit her, even though she has 50% like dodge chance, like all kinds of stuff. Let's see, let's get these guys back here. Where's the blink daggers at? This should be on 3. So, but one of the big like seen Invoker counters is a Slark, because they think like going in this You can just like go on Invoker whenever, and there's not a lot of things that he can do. But the thing is actually, Invoker almost becomes a Slark counter if you know how to use your spells. So like Slarks usually like jumps on you, uses their spells, and you can't like run, right? You can't run. And what a lot of people think is that if you have Yule Scepter, you can just use the Slark and you can avoid all the damage and run away when your pounce breaks. But the thing is, he has a thing called Dark Pact that acts as a purge during this entire time here. During that entire cast animation, everything cast on him except for like Doom and Duel is gonna like break. Doom, Duel, and Ancient Apparition, Ice Blast Ultimate. So let's say that he actually goes on me, coming out in this, pounces on me, and then I want to Yules him. Now, I'm gonna have to turn this off so you can see the cooldown, but you see he purges off the Yules, right? Same thing can be done with tornadoes. If he jumps you and you use the tornado, he's basically already broken free. So if he comes out in this, he hits you, he jumps you, and you use the tornado, then he's already broken free. And you wasted your entire tornado spell on just doing a little bit of damage, because it doesn't actually do that much damage. It just does 360 damage at max level with max Vex. So it's much better to just, when he comes out of in this and hits you, to just Yules yourself, because you avoid all this damage while he takes it, and while you land, the entire pounce duration is going to be over, basically. The pounce duration is 3.5 seconds, unless you have it talented, then it's 6.5, which is really annoying, but still. And then, since he's used his Dark Pact already, then you can start using the Tornado, because now Tornado is a lot more effective against him. He might use Ultimate, but hey, you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spells that doesn't need to target a hero, right? But the most effective ones are Ice Wall, Deafening Blast. These two spells are the best spells against Slark, because if he jumps you, he's going to use Dark Pact. Dark Pact has a 6-second cooldown, and you can just Deafening Blast him during that when he pops his ultimate up, for example, and he cannot hit you at all. So let's say that he comes in this, he hits you, then you can just Deafening Blast him. He can't purge the disarm, right? The disarm cannot be purged. And if you were to use Ice Wall, since he just initiated using his pounce to keep you still, he is going to be very immobile. So if this Slark doesn't have a BKB, there's like no way he can kill you. Unless he like bashes, but still, there shouldn't be any way. So the combo that's like working against Slark is to have this setup. He jumps you, you Yules it, he uses his Dark Pact, you land, you use your Tornado, you set up your Ice Wall. Here you can either use Meteor into, say, Cold Snap, in case he were to like pop his ultimate. You can just use Deafening Blast. And there's nothing the Slark can do to kill you unless he has a BKB. And even if he does have a BKB, if he pops it right after Deafening Blast doesn't get dispelled. It says here, cannot be dispelled. It doesn't pierce magical immunity, which means that if he already has used BKB, it's not going to do anything. But if he uses BKB after getting hit by Deafening Blast, he's still going to get hit by the entire duration of the disarm. So let's see if I can do this. It's kind of hard with controlling pops. So let's say that this Slark comes out, and he hits you, he jumps you, and you just Yules. You come down, use Tornado, use Ice Wall. He uses ultimate to try to go for you, but there's nothing he can do now. You push him back into the Ice Wall, and all he can do right now is just run. So you have avoided the entire threat of Slark with just using like 4 different items, 4 spells, 3 spells plus 1 item basically. And then what you can do is, if your team is there, you can just set up for a kill, or you can use Ghost Walk and run away. So that is how you majorly deal with Slark in the early to mid game, when he has his Shadow Blade and starts getting really scary. Because when Slark gets his Shadow Blade, he wants to roam, right? He wants to like find heroes, he wants to pick off, he wants to like, oh yes, I can get this guy. And then it's not much they can do, because he can just go in this. Or he can just use his ultimate, Shadow Dance. So, the reason why I have this refresher is just to show some of the bigger combos. but one of the more common, like, ooh, wow combos, so to speak. I'm gonna give the bots some heart right now so they have some health, because I don't want them to instantly die. So, get rid of these wards. Get rid of these boots. There we go. So that should be enough hearts. Actually, Slark's missing some hearts here. Okay. So one of the more popular ones is the Tornado EMP into Chaos Meteor into Deafening Blast, right? So this you can either use on one really big threat, so say like a carry that doesn't have a BKB, or a large group like this where you know that they don't have BKB up at the time, or they don't even have BKB at all. So what you do is you prompt the tornado, you set up the EMP. As you hit the tornado, you're gonna invoke, and then you're gonna get Chaos Meteor invoked. Then you cast Chaos Meteor right here. If this is the distance and you use Tornado here, you want to cast Meteor right here, because Meteor actually has a very short cast range. And if you click it here, you're gonna actually walk over to here and then cast it. But if you cast it right here, it's gonna land here and it's gonna roll, and it's gonna hit them right as they land from the tornado. And the damage from Meteor is not the impact where it lands, it's where it rolls, right? The rolling damage is what's scary with a Meteor. So you set it up like this, and then as soon as they land, you hit Deafening Blast. And if you're in the lower brackets, or if you haven't played Invoker so much, you're gonna fuck up this like combo a lot, especially doing it like in games. So that's why games like these, like bot games, are really good for this practice, because you're gonna fuck up your tornado timings, because the tornado uptime, like lift time, is based on your quas. So there's a huge difference between level 1 and level 7. So this is the combo, basically how it looks like. Now I only hit 2 of them with the Deafening Blast because I was still a bit too early, but yeah. So that's like a Sven with, or a PA with 5 hearts, and that's the combo basically. So you can just like keep doing that. I gave him another heart. Doesn't matter. I'm not like looking to kill these guys right now anyway. But this deals a lot of damage basically. So invoke, cast, EMP, Deafening Blast, wait for him to land, use Deafening Blast. So there you can see that did a lot of damage. It disables them and it sets up for your team, right? And this is sort of like where the refresher comes in for people who play Invoker a lot, like in the late game. Like me, myself, I usually just do this too early and I'm not patient enough to wait for the BKBs. So I'm just trying to blow like this combo like right on top of them as they use their BKB, so I deal like no damage at all. But basically the combo is you use all the 4 spells I just showed you, then you used the Refresher Orb, and then you hit Deafening Blast, followed by Meteor, followed by EMP again, and then maybe later Tornado. But you don't cast Tornado a second time necessarily, because that's a lot of missed damage. So let's see if I can get this combo off. Yeah, so that's the combo basically. So as you can see, Lina with 2 hearts, 4k damage. She took like a lot of damage there, almost 3k damage. Like so. So that is like one of the more potent usage of the Refresher Orb. Then of course there's other ones, but I don't think it's going to be very necessary to show in this video, because this video is mostly aimed towards lower levels or lower MMR. But then I'm going to also show one last combo here, which you can use against agility heroes most commonly, or strength heroes that doesn't have as many like strength items or health items. So this is more like an early game setup. So the setup is Tornado, Sunstrike into Deafening Blast. So what you want to do is you want to set up the Tornado, set up the Sunstrike, and as soon as they land you want to hit them with the Deafening Blast. So this actually does a lot of damage in the early stages of a hero that maybe has 1300 health. So if this hero has like 1600 health, with no items of course, but she's level 25, so she has a lot of stats, this would deal, and it's all the damage is like basically based on your exhort anyway, so that's the one you max first. So when you have exhort like this, you can just use this combo a lot. So as you can see there, that took half of her health. That's a lot of damage. However, if you're gonna use this on a hero that's in the lane, just remember that Sunstrike shares damage. All the damage that it deals is spread evenly among all enemies hit. That includes creeps, ancients, and I do believe Roshan. So let's say like these 4 are creeps, right? Or these 3 are creeps. And this is the PA that I want to kill. Now, if she's standing among creeps like this, and the creeps won't die from like... The creeps won't die from my tornado. They will die to the Sunstrike, but they will split the damage between them. So the damage would be very minimal. The only damage would basically be from my Deafening Blast. And Deafening 300 mana for like that little damage at that point is not worth it at all. So it would just be like this. So as you can see, that deals like no damage. That just takes the tornado damage and the split Sunstrike damage. So these are like the most basic combos, excluding the Refresher Orb. So basically all you have to do when you practice these combos is just to think about where your positioning is, which items they have, and then how much mana you have. Because it's all based on mana. And if you're playing Invoker a lot in the beginning, you're going to be very mana starved. So buying Clarities and just keeping them in your backpack here is very useful. So you can just swap it out for, say, a Blink Dagger or for a Yule Scepter, and then just pop a mana potion and then swap them back in. So you have the passive mana all the time. Because otherwise you're just going to run around with 200 mana, 300 mana, you're not going to be able to do any combo. Like even this combo costs like almost 300 mana, so... And I used it earlier, as you can see. So... Like that's the difficult part. Learning positioning, spell usage, like when to use it, mana cost, and also getting used to the invoke. Because sometimes if you play like on just like what the fuck mode all the time, you have no cooldown, right? So you can just like spam away like this, and like you might be able to like, wow, I can cast like all these spells. But if you take it off, you actually have like a small second, like 2 seconds where you don't have anything. So you might like want to do all of this, but you might actually like screw up, and then your timing is set off, right? So all that was like poor time, because I did everything fast, I did everything correct, but I just did it too fast. So the invoke did not have time to go off cooldown, and I just messed up my positioning, and I messed up my timing. So if you just practice against bots, I suggest not having what the fuck on, like this. Have what the fuck on just to learn what the spells are, so you can swap between the spells very quickly. So you might like want to get certain spells, just learn how to like swap between them like this. That is the purpose of what the fuck for Invoker, basically. You just like learn your spells to use them fast in situations, and then it's just all down to muscle memory, right? But in terms of like trying to actually land them, I would suggest turning off what the fuck mode and just practice on getting the invoke timing correct. And then practice positioning. You want to not end up over here when you use it. You want to end up here. If you want to use Ice Wall, try to land over here. And then get Ice Wall across like this. Like that. So that's gonna top off this video. I'm not gonna make any more like I'm not gonna show any more super combos where you use like Meteor, Sunstrike, everything like this, because there's absolutely no point, because that's not where that is not where you're failing right now. If you're playing below 6k, those big combos are not gonna help you with anything other than just look cool and then lose the game immediately afterwards if your positioning is bad. So just practice last hitting, positioning, spell timing, check their items, and check your mana. Right? If you can get all those correct, if you can get all those down, the very basics, then you're gonna be a 5k player in like a very short time. So that is gonna be the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed. Sorry for being twitchy with the camera, but yeah. See you guys.